Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like for you all to imagine a single grain of rice. Small, ordinary, forgettable. Now, what if I told you that this tiny grain of rice had the power to save a child's life, or the power to be thrown away without a second thought? For most of my life, I didn't realize which of these two choices I was making. For me, food was just food. If I didn't like it, I didn't eat it. Simple. Until tired and disappointed, looked at me dead in the eyes. Young man, do you even realize that thousands of children go to bed hungry while you throw food away? That sentence didn't just shake me. It made me think. So when I went to my computer to prove her wrong, I discovered something far worse. She wasn't wrong. She was underestimating the problem. According to the Global Health Organizations, nearly 38 million children suffer from acute malnutrition worldwide. Nearly 45% of all child deaths among children under the age of 5 are linked to undernutrition. And over 80% of them never receive the life-saving treatment they need. Suddenly, my unfinished plate felt heavier than ever. I wanted to understand why hunger still existed in a world that grew more food than ever. And the more I learned, the clearer the reasons became. Hunger wasn't just caused by war, poverty, or climatic instability. It was also caused by things we rarely talk about. Food, wasted or spoiled long before it ever reaches a plate. Food that fills up a stomach but doesn't provide the nutrients a body needs to grow. Food piled up in some places while others left with almost nothing. But here's the part that changed everything for me. These problems aren't unsolvable, and they aren't destiny. They can be solved by a magic science called GMOs, genetically modified organisms. This technology changes the DNA of crops to give them new abilities, such as increased nutrition, increased shelf life, climatic resilience, etc. We can grow crops that last longer. For example, Arctic apples and innate potatoes, they're GMOs engineered to resist browning and bruising, and they have a longer shelf life. This means less spoilage, less cosmetic rejection, and more food reaching people instead of landfills. It's the perfect example of a GMO designed to reduce food waste. We can grow food richer in vitamins. A famous example of such a GMO is golden rice, where normal rice is enhanced to produce more beta carotene, which the body converts into vitamin A. This means that a bowl of rice doesn't just fill a stomach. It prevents blindness and saves lives. We can grow food in the places that need it the most. Let's face it, some areas are not cut out for growing food. I'd like to see you try to grow a tomato plant in the desert. Good luck with that. But with GMOs, we can change that. Drought-tolerant maize is designed to grow in harsh, dry conditions, and salt-tolerant rice is designed to grow in salty soils. Now, here is the part that is the most game-changing of GMOs. Edible vaccines. Just imagine a mother carrying your child, suffering from a high fever, racing towards a distant, only to learn the vaccine spoiled in last week's heat. Now imagine a different ending, one where she didn't need a clinic, needle, or a nurse. Imagine if all she needed was a GMO fruit that she can pick from her own backyard. This concept of edible vaccines in common foods, such as bananas and potatoes, is not science fiction. It's science in progress. And that's the heart of today's message. GMOs have the potential to fight hunger on a massive scale, making food more nutritious, more durable, and more accessible. Now, any technology this powerful comes with questions, and it should. If GMOs are so powerful, why isn't the whole world using them? And that's when I discovered the other side of the story. There are concerns about environmental balance, seed ownership, and health uncertainty. Some fear that human-introduced genetic changes will spread to the wild, destroying native/organic traits. Others fear that big corporations, not local farmers, will control the food supply. And some fear that GMOs are not fully tested, especially for long-term effects on children, allergies, and gut health. These concerns are valid, but they shouldn't stop progress. Instead, they should shape it. So what can we do? First, stay informed. Base opinions on credible research, not fear. Second, advocate for fairness. Support policies that give farmers access to these technologies without exploitation. Third, push for transparency. Science must remain accountable to people, not profit. And fourth, reduce waste. Hunger is not only about how much we grow, but how much we value what's already on our plates. Now, when my mother asked me that painful question years ago, she wasn't just pointing out waste. It was giving me a responsibility, hard questions, a responsibility to understand the world beyond my plate. She was planting an idea that every meal connected to someone, if we embrace this technology without fear, mistrust, or misunderstanding, farmer loses everything to a drought. No community suffers because food spoiled before it arrived. And no mother has to choose between distance and survival. A world where science and nature can grow side by side. So the real question isn't whether are GMOs good or bad, it's will we use them to end hunger or let our fear end their progress. That future is within reach. The seeds are ready, the science is ready. The question is, are we ready? Thank you.